Why you fear the tooth-filled stare. An anatomy of the Corinthian. The smile is the very first social signal we learn as human beings. It signifies safety, friendliness, and connection. Yet, biologically speaking, teeth are weapons. They are the only part of our skeletal structure that is deliberately exposed to the world, calcified tools designed to tear, crush, and consume. So, what happens when that biological balance is shattered? Why do we feel a visceral wave of nausea when we look at images of hypodontia, or a face where teeth have sprouted in places they simply shouldn't exist? It is not merely the fear of being bitten, it is something far deeper. It is the fear of a fundamental violation of nature's design. Welcome to the Monster's Id. Today, we are dissecting the anatomy of a smile that shouldn't exist. To understand this specific breed of horror, we must look at a perfect specimen, the Corinthian. Born from the mind of Neil Gaiman in the masterpiece The Sandman, he is a nightmare created by Morpheus himself. On the surface, he is the pinnacle of attraction, charming, articulate, and radiating a deadly charisma. He wears sunglasses day and night, a stylistic choice that hints at mystery. But when those glasses fall, the illusion shatters. Where the eyes should be, the windows to the soul, there are only two small, jagged, chattering mouths. Gaiman didn't just replace eyes with teeth for shock value, he created a perfect inversion of biological function. But why does this specific imagery haunt us more than a rotting zombie or a faceless ghost? The answer lies in how our brains define humanity. First, we must address the violation of the body schema. Your brain is hardwired to recognize faces based on a strict architectural order. Eyes for seeing, a nose for breathing, a mouth for eating. We look to the eyes for empathy, for emotional cues, for connection. With the Corinthian, when you search for that connection, you find only consumption. This substitution creates a severe cognitive dissonance. It is not just ugly, it is an insult to the natural order. It triggers a biological alarm in your amygdala that screams, "This thing looks human, but it is absolutely not." This is the Uncanny Valley at its most brutal. Secondly, we are dealing with the intersection of odontophobia, the fear of teeth, and vororophobia, the fear of being eaten. In the evolutionary wild, too many teeth is a visual shorthand for a predator that cannot be reasoned with. A creature with rows of teeth, especially in sensory organs like the eyes, implies a singular, terrifying purpose: to feed. There is no room for negotiation or emotion, only an eternal hunger. The Corinthians' extra mouths aren't for chewing food, they are for chewing through reality itself. The redundancy of teeth strips away the capacity for language and reason, reducing the entity to a biological meat grinder. However, the most disturbing aspect of the Corinthian isn't that he might bite you, it is how he looks at you. In psychology, the gaze is often discussed in terms of control or observation, but the Corinthian's gaze is invasive. He sees you by tasting you. This represents our deepest fear of dehumanization. When he turns those tooth-filled sockets toward you, he doesn't see a person with feelings and a history. He sees a meal. It is objectification in its most literal, horrific form. So why are we compelled by such a monster? As with all great horror, the Corinthian serves as a dark mirror. Gaiman described him as a reflection of everything humanity tries to hide. He represents our bottomless greed. In a metaphorical sense, we are all guilty of consuming with our eyes. We scroll through social media. We feast on the tragedies of others. We devour images and information without ever truly offering empathy. We look, but we do not see. We only take. We fear the Corinthian not just because he is a nightmare, but because he is a raw, unfiltered portrait of human nature, when compassion is replaced by the hunger to possess. The next time you look at the world, ask yourself, are you looking to understand it, or are you just looking to consume it? I am Dr. Aris Thorne. Join me next time as we leave the biology of the body behind to explore the terror of empty places and the silence of liminal spaces.